Hello, my name is Rochelle.
Hi, I'm Elijah Monkey Plant.
My name's Rick Reddick.
Hi, I'm Beth.
Hi, my name is Jenny.
Hello, my name is Victoria Butenko.
My name is Sergey Butenko.
Hi, I'm Dr. DeAndrea. I'm a naturopathic doctor and a medical doctor.
And I have been a raw foods vegan for 3 wonderful, magnificent years.
I've been eating raw for 9.5 years.
I've been raw for 5 years.
I've been raw for 15 months.
I'm 100% raw for 9 years.
Completely raw for a little over a year.
It has affected my body tremendously.
I weighed about 65 to 70 pounds more than I currently weigh.
The difference in how I feel every day is really significant.
I feel strong and good and healthier than ever.
I'm 39, I still feel 29.
My whole life has changed.
I eat the most beautiful, amazing food every day.
I feel like everything tastes so wonderful that I make.
And the food I eat is so beautiful, and it's from the earth, and it's exciting.
I, for the first time in my life, feel nourished.
It's incredible.
Hello, and welcome to the world of raw. We are going to find out exactly what raw is and what it can do for you. We will talk with people who lead a raw lifestyle and see how they have benefited. Living foods will improve your life in so many ways. Your body will be healthier, your spirit will be happier, and the environment will thank you. But first, let's find out exactly what the world of raw is all about. Raw vegan foods have been a popular diet for thousands of years. There's evidence that Pythagoras, a 6th century philosopher, was introduced to living foods after studying with the Essenes, a sect of Jewish mystics. Pythagoras popularized living foods with his followers, who lived long, healthy lives. Even today, many prominent and privileged individuals enjoy a raw lifestyle. Raw restaurants and chefs have enjoyed their share of the spotlight with an array of distinctive gourmet recipes.
Nice savory here, same thing, just strip it off.
This is a really great seed cheese recipe. We're gonna start with the juice of some lemons.
The cheese, I'm gonna use macadamia nuts and walnuts.
Let's wrap it up, take it to work. You got an instant healthy lunch.
Perhaps more impressive are the countless people from all walks of life starting to eat raw every day.
The strict definition of something that is live, raw, or uncooked food is food that has not been heated above 118 degrees Fahrenheit. At 118 degrees Fahrenheit, that's when enzymes begin to break down.
I don't eat any table salt, no sugar, no preservatives of any kind, no prepared food, like no packaged food.
Nothing cooked, processed, no sugar, flour, salt.
And definitely not meat or any animal products.
Raw, organic, vegan foods.
Vegan, does that mean I just eat fruits and vegetables? It's plants, fungus, mushrooms, seaweeds, algae.
People always ask, like, oh my God, how do you do without all of that food that you used to love? And it's so not about not getting to have stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's completely the opposite. It's not about lack, it's about abundance.
That's the great thing about being a raw foods vegan. You have a lot of choices.
Unfortunately, our parents didn't introduce to us properly in time, like before we were 3-4 years old, all the variety of raw food that exists in this world. Instead, we introduced 300 varieties of cereal, 200 varieties of chocolate, about 50 varieties of candies and stuff like that. I think that the parents have to introduce to children about 12 different seeds, about 18 different kinds of nuts, about 200 variety of vegetables, and over 300 variety of fruits.
You'll fall in love with food all over again when you start eating raw, organic, because it tastes like nothing else in this world.
I just love the simplicity of an avocado with salsa. Like, it's so incredibly good.
I love pineapple. I've loved pineapple my whole life, but I just really love it now even more.
I love blood oranges. Love them, love them, love them.
I love mango. Mango is just, it's so divine. It's decadent.
I love peppers. I love seaweed.
I love fruit.
Clearly, living foods is a delicious, dynamic, and exciting way to eat, full of possibilities. Uncooked food, with all its enzymes intact, has a substantial effect on the body. Here's Dr. DeAndrea to explain.
There's 3 different types of enzymes. There's food enzymes, that's in your food. There's digestive enzymes, those are what are in your stomach and digest food. And then there's metabolic enzymes, those are the enzymes that do the work all over your body. So if you take a food like an apple and you cook it and you eat it and you put it into your body, in order for that apple to be completely digested, you're going to have to use digestive enzymes in your stomach. If you use the digestive enzymes in your stomach completely up, then you're going to have to call on metabolic enzymes that are doing work in the body in order to digest the food. If you decide to eat the food in its live, raw, uncooked state, many of the enzymes are intact that help digest the apple, so that when you eat the apple, you're not going to use as much of your digestive power of enzymes in order to break the apple down. So you don't call on the metabolic enzymes from your body to help digestion, and they can continue to do the work of healing and regenerating your body.
Pancreatic enzymes particularly, their primary function is to kind of course around the body looking for atypical cells to digest and kind of cleaning stuff up and keeping the body kind of well maintained. What ends up happening is, if you eat a piece of celery, right? Take a bite of celery. If it's cooked, your saliva detects the lack of enzymes, tells the pancreas there aren't any enzymes in the food. The pancreatic enzymes and other metabolic enzymes have to come to digest the food, where if you eat a raw, same piece of celery before you cooked it, the saliva detects enzymes. That the enzymes necessary to digest the food are present in the food and doesn't call into action the metabolic enzymes.
So this is how the body ideally works. You choose to chew and swallow live food. Food that's still colorful, bright, vibrant, doesn't look limp, isn't charred, cooked, dead, boiled, put through a machine, processed. Okay, you're chewing it up. You're swallowing. Your body is absorbing, because that food is breaking down at a rapid rate.
When you eat cooked foods, you often feel sluggish after you eat, and that's because your body is going into its enzyme reserves to digest that food.
Often your body becomes taxed by having to digest food that is cooked or processed heavily or has a lot of chemicals.
If a person is eating a large amount of cooked food 3 times a day, 7 times a week, they're obviously going to use more digestive enzymes.
It's not only about it not the nutrients getting cooked out of it, and that's kind of what I thought initially was the point. When I heard about people who were raw, I thought that was the point, but it's way more about enzymes.
It's not just what you eat or how much you eat or when you eat. It's the absorption. It's what your body actually takes in.
Yeah, why bother trying to digest something that the body is very intelligent, knows it can't fully absorb and use.
And your body has to work really hard to work it through its system. So not only are you not getting nutrients, you're having to digest dead material through your body, which the human body is amazing and can do that, but over a period of time, eventually your body will produce disease.
You end up burning out from it. Cooked food can never be as strong and virulent as the food that has its own supply of enzymes. It goes through effortlessly. Therefore, you see a level of increased energy and vitality and happiness and hope in people eating fresh, raw foods that can be digested effortlessly. And that's the secret to longevity.
The easier your food is to digest and metabolize, the more energy you will have.
When my children went on raw food, they started to have so much more energy. They started to sleep less.
I wake up earlier, I don't feel groggy in the morning.
My body is kind of more in tune with the day cycle, so I definitely go to sleep earlier and wake up earlier, and I kind of have steady energy throughout the day, which is great, because I used to be heavily addicted to caffeine and sugar.
My energy all day long is just kind of totally even. It's weird, it's freakish. I totally have steady, even energy all day long. So that serves me to, the most obvious way, at work, because I don't have these sort of peaks and valleys energetically, and I feel good all the time.
I feel more alive in a way, and that makes sense because I'm eating live foods, and you are what you eat. So if you want to really live life and enjoy this precious life that we've been given, eat raw foods. You don't know what life is until you go raw.
When the body is not using all of its energy to digest food, it can more effectively fight against illness and disease.
So since I've been raw, I've also noticed my health drastically improve. As a child, I was often sick. I had to take antibiotics.
I always got bronchitis and strep throat. I'd have lingering coughs.
Well, when I went raw and I stopped taking medications, I noticed that I wasn't even getting sick. Everyone would have the flu when it was flu season, and I would be fine.
I don't get as sick as I used to, and I recover much more quickly.
I also think that eating wild foods in your native area is really important.
Usually if you eat honey from your local area, the bees have made it from the local flowers, so therefore you build up antibodies against hay fever.
When people come to me after a year, after 2 years, they talk to me about the symptoms that went away, and the symptoms of all different variety of illnesses, even things like lupus, or different kinds of cancer, different kinds of diabetes.
The reason I started doing this in the first place is I found out I had cancer, and it's a very long story, but found out I had thyroid cancer, scheduled surgery and radiation, and was totally going to do that. And like previously thought that I was a relatively healthy guy, you know, compared to most people in the world. I was like vegetarian forever for like 15 years and thought I was healthy until I found out I had cancer, you know. And what I know now is that eating cooked food and eating sugar and drinking coffee and putting table salt down my gullet all day, every day, like I never got any nourishment. Like my body was busting its ass all day, every day, trying to digest all the crap I was putting in it and trying to get rid of all the toxins, and it couldn't keep up. Whatever, like my food wasn't nourishing me, it was poisoning me. You know what I mean? Like at the risk of sounding like a total zealot. I mean, I believe that. I totally believe that. So I thought I felt good. You know, I thought I was a healthy guy and thought I felt good. And what I've found is, based on nothing other than how I feel every day, like I feel 100 times better than I felt before. Like I feel like a different guy completely. And by eating raw, taking a bunch of herbs and supplements, and doing acupuncture and drinking this foul tea that my acupuncture doctor gives me, my tumor has shrunk like 80% in a year.
I started eating raw food at 9 years old because I was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes, and basically my parents, they knew that synthetic insulin wasn't the way out. And after a lot of searching, we found raw food, started eating raw, which was a big difference because we were Russian and we ate meat 4 times a day and just very greasy, refried food. The first 2 weeks were really hard. We ate fruits and vegetables. We didn't know how to make gourmet, delicious raw food. But as time went on, we started experimenting with a blender, and on top of that, we stuck with it because we noticed that just within those 2 weeks that my symptoms started going away. My blood sugar was stabilizing. I was incredibly losing a little bit of weight, even though I was eating as much as I wanted. And basically my temper wasn't as rocky, and that was just in 2 weeks. So I kept eating raw food for 2 months, lost even more weight. My symptoms by that time had almost completely gone away. I checked my blood sugar and it would turn up normal almost every time.
I'd go back every 3 months for another scan, you know, like just an ultrasound to see how big the tumor is. And like my regular doctors are freaked out, you know. Like, first of all, thought I was insane. They thought I was crazy. And now we're like, I have no idea. I would not believe this if I wasn't seeing it with my own eyes. I have no idea how this is working, but it is. So keep doing everything you're doing.
And physically, I started running because for diabetics, running is a must, which to me, before raw food, was incredible. I mean, I couldn't even run a block physically. I literally could not run a block. So when I started eating raw food, it made all the difference. It was like a 180 degree turn in the opposite direction. Now I can run 10 miles. Last summer I ran up in our hometown in Ashland, Oregon. There's a race from Ashland to the top of Mount Ashland, 16 miles uphill. I came in 10th overall out of everybody who ran.
The thing that turned it for me is that I realized, well, if you cut it out and irradiate me, the environment that allowed cancer to grow is still there. You know what I mean? Like totally just treating the symptoms does nothing. I mean, it treats the symptom. But the fact remains that my body was fertile ground for cancer to grow, and that won't change unless I fundamentally and profoundly change the environment that is my body.
Changing your biochemistry can make your body an inhospitable environment for disease.
When you eat a live food or a raw food diet, often because the food creates a certain response in the body, it can help shift the blood pH. Normally the blood pH should be somewhere around 7.42, slightly more than water.
Largely because of the way we eat, our tissue, our bodies are really acidic, and optimally we would be alkaline.
The body likes to stay at an alkaline pH because at an alkaline pH, slightly more than water, the body is better able to pick up oxygen. And oxygen is a very powerful nutrient for healing. By eating more food in the raw, live state, the food that you eat actually causes the blood to shift in the alkaline direction.
Like 70 years ago, this guy, Otto Warburg, won the Nobel Prize for Medicine for discovering that cancer cells cannot survive in an alkaline environment that's highly oxygenated. They just can't.
If a person eats a large amount of concentrated proteins from animal foods, lots of cooked foods or processed foods, that will shift the blood in a more acid direction.
If you can flip the biochemistry around in the body so that you're alkaline, your tissue is alkaline instead of being acidic, that your body would then be an inhospitable environment for cancer cells. So that's part of the reasoning for being raw, to me.
We have become overly concerned with our protein intake.
There's a common belief in the United States that we should have larger and larger amounts of protein. In my entire practice, I've never seen one single patient in 13 years who has ever suffered from a protein deficiency. In fact, the word kwashiorkor is the name for a protein deficiency. Have you ever had a friend who suffered from kwashiorkor?
Protein. 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 That is the #1 buzzword amongst everyone who's addicted to cooked mussels. Okay? They tell us, where do vegetarians get their protein?
What about protein?
People always ask me, where do you get your protein? From the same place a gorilla does, man. You know, and they get plenty. They're strong. They're as strong as a gorilla because they're a gorilla.
They have no option to kill it with fire. They have no ovens. They have no kitchens. Olive Wild is eating it raw, fresh off the vine.
It's a silly question because it's widely believed that we as a culture eat way, way, way too much protein.
In fact, in the United States of America, we're eating approximately 4 times more protein than is recommended by the World Health Organization. The World Health Organization says that the average human being should have somewhere between 20 and 40 grams of protein a day. That averages out to about a heaping tablespoon of soy powder protein put in a smoothie in the morning, plus the variety of fruits and vegetables that you will eat through a day.
Before, I never thought about where I got my protein. I never even was concerned about it, and kind of am not concerned about protein much now, especially now that I know that sprouted peas contain more protein than a steak.
You can get protein in everything: fruits, vegetables, nuts, beans, and grains.
Protein on the molecular level is the cell wall. Protein on the big scale is the skin, the hair, the bones. So what gives our body form and structure, like the cell wall, is protein.
I understand that molecule of protein of human beings consists of 14 essential amino acids, and they have to be connected in certain order. When we eat in cows, they have different amino acids there, and they have different order. So that means our body has to do the hard work of breaking apart those cow amino acids, and then it has to find the missing ones and put them together. At the same time, where can we find separated already amino acids existing? Do they exist in any food? Oh yes, in any fruits and vegetables. For example, just apple and carrot. These two, they cover all 14 of them. And it's very easy for body just to take raw essential amino acids and connect them. That's why I think all the raw fooders have such a good protein connection in their body.
Eating raw is not like a fad diet to me, and I feel like all of the protein diets are fad diets. Like it just seems like now you want to eat protein and you'll lose weight and all of this stuff, and it's not about that for me at all. It's about eating healthy.
Raw food is a safer and more effective alternative to fad diets.
When I first decided to become a raw foods vegan, I did it from a health point of view, but I definitely wanted to lose weight. I lost 30 pounds in the first 8 weeks. That totally stunned me. The more I read about raw foods, I found that that was a very typical reaction, that people would lose 25 to 30 pounds in the first month or two.
You can eat as much as you want, whenever you want, and you will not gain weight.
There is beautiful sources of fat, meaning the fat that will sustain your beauty, will not look it on your body. Avocados, coconuts, macadamia nuts.
And people often make the mistake of thinking, well, if you are eating avocados and tons of nuts, then you must be gaining weight. Those are fattening foods. Wrong, they're not fattening. They're only fattening if you cook them, because the body doesn't know how to process them and it stores them as fat.
People with slow metabolisms have a tendency to store food on their bodies, especially foods that are hard to digest.
When you eat raw oils, raw avocado, you're getting the good fats, the omega-3s. Your body is getting whole foods that it can get all its vitamins and minerals from. This is real food. This isn't fat-free or bread that has nothing in it where you have to eat a whole loaf to get full. You can eat a salad and get full off that, and that's because your body's getting what it needs.
The body knows what it